Well, today I'm sitting down. I got tired of walking. We walked a whole bunch yesterday. I walked around the park, I don't know how many times, and just seeing different things here in the park that we might have already missed. But today, I was going to talk about tools and stuff that a lot of people starting out buying rentals. And you when I first started out, I only bought tools as I needed them, and your big contractors, they seem to like Milwaukee, DeWalt, Rigid even, but I use Ryobi. You can get that at Home Depot, and if you look it up, Ryobi is owned by Milwaukee, and I've collected probably every cordless tool they make. Um, as for the water lines for the PEX, I got the cordless, the PEX crimper, not the ring, not the little clamps, but actual the rings you put on there. I got that. And now, as for doing water lines, I actually got me a ProPress, and I bought the Rigid. They had an 18 volt. Now I bought this before all the prices jumped up, and like I said, Rigid had an 18. They had an 18 volt, and then they had a 12 volt. And for doing smaller stuff, like we're just working on your rentals, and you're not commercially busy, the 12 volt works just as fine as the big one, and it's about half the price. Because when I bought mine, it was like $1,200, and now I think they're like $2,500 just for the 12 volt. And but that's the only, I'm trying to think if that's the only outside of my chainsaw I got a steel. But outside of my Ryobi, the Rigid ProPress is the only thing I'd have that's not Ryobi, because I looked to see if Ryobi made one. But these companies, when they get a patent on something, the patent's good for 15 years, and then after that somebody can copy it. But I can't remember who come out with the ProPress originally. But anyway, like I said, I got a Rigid. And screwdrivers and stuff like that, always make sure that you get the magnetic tip kinds, because it's a pain in the butt when you got screws that you're in a little tight spot and you're trying to put like a cabinet together. You have to fix a cabinet door, or you're up under one and your screw falls off. Always make sure you get magnetic tools, drill bits, sawzall blades and all that. I just get whatever, because they're all going to go bad. I mean, half the time if I'm needing to use a sawzall blade, it's to do demo or something anyway, it's going to tear the blade up, so you might as well just get whatever the most effective price you can get for the amount you can get it for. Hammers, I'm picky on my hammer. I wouldn't never use just any hammer. Like when I was first got into doing maintenance, I just whatever hammer I grabbed. But nowadays, I'm picky about my hammers. I like how they fit. I like how they fit in your hand when you're swinging it. I remember when I was helping frame houses about 20 years ago. There was a guy that worked for the builder that I was working for, and he used to be a cabinet maker. Excuse me. And he had a 16-ounce hammer, and we're trying to drive these big nails, but he was so used to using it, but it was kind of ineffective for what we were doing. We were framing houses, because he would have to swing that thing so much harder to get the nails in, versus the least I go is a 20. I actually prefer a 22-ounce, because when I knock stuff in, I want to make sure it goes in. I don't want to waste time sitting there whacking away on a nail to get it to go in. Now, like some of this stuff, like screws and your nails, you just have to go with whatever your local supplier has. So they got their contracts with. I remember I've bought big containers of deck screws, and mainly deck screws. There's been some other ones, and you'll go through and you're using them, and like the tops of them got they're full of paint, that coating they put on there, and you get I think one of them, I had a whole handful that were literally bad. I mean, there's no way to return them, but it it's just a complaint I got with how that they do the manufacturing of that, and the quality. The strength in this stuff's went down over the years. Construction screws, I've had some bad ones before, but generally they're not bad. But yeah, with the tools, don't go overboard. I never did. Like I said, I've used Ryobi for years, and generally I get about 2 years out of a battery pack, and I try to keep at least a minimum of 3 battery packs, but right now I got 4, and as they go bad, I just throw them away and get another one. That's just one thing I just would not skimp on, and I actually got 2 containers in the bed of my truck, because my truck I constantly carry all my power tools, and I'll have one container with like the power tools that I don't use as often, like the ones I use rarely. Then I got my next ones up, and then I got like my drills and stuff like that. But I do like having because you got your drill, then you got your impact, and you have your torque impacts. And torque impacts are nice to keep in your vehicle, because if you get a flat tire, you can get the lug nut off. But that's one thing, and I didn't buy them all at once. Like I said, I bought them as I needed them, because a lot of times you're only going to need to use something once. That's good. You buy it when you need it, and then put it away, and that way you've got it for a future job. But don't go run out and just go down, like when you buy a Ryobi tool, they got a little piece of paper in there. It's got every tool that they've ever made, that they still make, and people just go out and they buy a whole bunch of them. And it's just, unless you're going to use it, maybe find a friend that might have one that you can borrow. It's just nice to have your own, because I don't like loaning out my stuff, because generally it gets tore up. Stop on their dog over there. And I even got your 1.5 inch drains, like for your sinks and stuff. I do have that in Ryobi for my snake. Now my drum snake, I can do up to 4 inches on it. Excuse me. And that's I think it's a rigid. I got it at Depot. I get all my stuff at Depot, but only because Home Depot is all we have in my hometown. There's no Lowe's there. I do like shopping at Lowe's. I won't lie. Lowe's has got good stuff. Price wise, between Lowe's and Depot, Lowe's is typically a tad higher, but if you have a Lowe's card and you use the 5% off, it balances out. And sometimes Lowe's is cheaper, and sometimes Lowe's is never going to be cheaper on stuff. But yeah, like I'm trying to think if I know anybody that's used oh crap, what's the Lowe's brand of cordless stuff. It's like the Ryobi is Home Depot. Actually, I think my girlfriend's got it set up. But anyway, I've used them. They're good. I mean, if we only had Lowe's and I didn't have a Home Depot, I would have went with the Lowe's brand. Now, in saying that, the Ryobi offers more from Home Depot. With Ryobi offers more in the line of what actual tools they make versus the one from Lowe's. I've known a guy that we use the brand from Menards. I don't know. I just like the ones that you can take it into Depot, something breaks, fix, then they trade it out. You know. Now, like my wrenches and ratchets, I always used Craftsman, but of course there's a bug on my screen. Since Sears went out of business, I mean, I remember years ago I had a Craftsman ratchet, and it literally went bad, and I took it in the store, and they said go get another one off the shelf, and they just warranted it out right there. Now tool belts. As younger, I would just wear a tool belt, you know, and not think anything about it. And then I would watch like shows with these home improvement guys, and the guys had the shoulder straps on them with all their stuff in it. And I'm not gonna lie, that shoulder strap makes a big difference when you're carrying that crap around all day. Like if you're having to get up on the roof and work for a little bit, or you're up on ladders, that really makes a big difference in all that stuff. But like I said, just don't go overboard on that. Get what you need to get. And a lot of times it's if you buy stuff when they have, well, like Black Friday, we just had it. they'll offer promos where you get like bonus buys with the batteries, because the tools aren't really what's expensive, it's the batteries. I mean, the batteries per se are inexpensive, but you got to replace them a lot more than you got to replace the tools. So, but no, that's just one bit. That's one. This is a video on the tools that stuff I do with all my rentals, and I can't count over the years the number of power tools I've had to replace and upgrade just because they go bad. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Ryobi, they had I think they had a blue, that wasn't a blue collar, or some other color they had on them back when I first started buying them, and of course now they're all, you know, green and all that. But you got any questions about that, feel free to ask me. And just wanted to go over some tools with you guys today. All right, have a good one. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share the video. Appreciate it. Thanks.